Hi guys, Casper MMA here, and today we're back with another PFL prediction video on the channel. Today giving my predictions for PFL Europe, Habirora versus Roberts. Now this is the first prediction video I've made for like a week or two now. I couldn't do any last week. I was actually in Turkey. It was really annoying because I wanted to watch like the UFC card and the PFL card and stuff, but I was not able to. I was in Turkey. I missed like the Charles and Sapuri fight, which is so annoying. But I'm back this week to give my PFL predictions. But before I do that, make sure you guys and you're around here and you're enjoying this content, you go down below and hit the subscribe button. It's free and it's really appreciated. Now I just want to mention that I've just seen the 16 fights on this card this weekend, so I'm not going to be going into detail on every fight because it would take me so long. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Just know I have researched the fights. I'm just giving you who I think's going to win and what decision, submission or like KO they're going to do. I'm not going into full detail because that'll take me like hours. So we kick things off with the first fight of the card, which is Salvo Guidice versus Bryce Belghazi. Now I'm going to butcher every name on this card, so it's one of many. Guidice, no idea how you say it, but there's two Frenchmen fighting against each other here. We have Guidice is a 1-0 Frenchman, won his first professional fight by decision in PFL back in 2024. Decent win there. Obviously he's had quite a lot of amateur fights as well in his career. His opponent Belghazi is a 1-1 professionally. He won his first fight by submission, then lost his last fight in the PFL by decision to Sheridan. So not much to go for these guys. Both not had many fights in total, but I'm going to go with Guidice to get the win by decision. And now we move the card to Paulina Wiśniewska versus Jessica Cunha. Now, Wiśniewska is a Polish woman, 5-0, 26 years old. It looks very good. I mean, she won her first 4 fights all by decision, then then won her last fight by KO in round number 1, which is very impressive. Knee and punches there. She looks pretty decent. I mean, undefeated fighter. Well, what more can you say there? Her opponent, Cunha, is a 9-4 currently. Also not a bad fighter, to be fair, but she has only won 2 out of her last 3 fights. I mean, there's one unknown result on here. I don't know what that means, but she lost 2 fights in a row. Then she just beat someone by rear naked choke in round number 1 in her last fight. But she has fought some pretty high level fighters. I mean, she's fought 2 people in the UFC and lost them both. But she's not a bad fighter. But I do think that Wiśniewska is the better fighter here. She's undefeated. She looks good. Coming off a KO win as well. I reckon Wiśniewska's going to get the win by decision. And now we move the card to Dean Garnett versus Tuomas Grönvall. Now, this fight was actually meant to be Garnett versus Luster, which I was looking forward to, but it's been rearranged. Grönvall has stepped in on short notice. Garnett is a very good fighter, Englishman, 12-3-1 record. He is 36 years of age, so he's getting on a bit, but I do like him. He's just lost his last fight by KO to McGrillen Evans, but I mean, that was one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen so many knockdowns in a fight. If you haven't watched the fight, go watch his fight with Lewis McGrillen Evans there. It was so good. But apart from that loss, which was he put up a good fight in that fight. He's a pretty good fighter. I mean, he's coming. He had 4 wins in a row before that. He's pretty good. I do like him a lot. His opponent Grönvall is Finnish man, 12-8-1. So not the best record, to be fair, but he's 31 years of age, so slightly younger. He's only won 1 fight in his last 4, coming off 2 fights in a row he's lost in Bellator and PFL. He's got a few decent wins on his record. Most of his fights he's winning by decision, a few wins by submission as well, but I just think that Garnett is going to be the better fighter here. I mean, he's short notice as well, and I reckon Garnett is going to get the KO here. And now we move to the next fight on the card, which is Movsar Ibragimov versus Gerardo Fanny. What a name. Gerardo Fanny. Wow, that is one of the best names I've ever heard in MMA. But we start off with Ibragimov, 6-0, Belgique man. Looks pretty good. I mean, all of his wins have come by finish. All 6 of his wins here. He looks good. I mean, 4 of them coming by KO, 2 of them by submission. Just coming off, he had a head kick win in against a good opponent. Then he just coming off a win by guillotine in his last fight. He looks very good. Can't deny him there. But Fanny, on the other hand, is 14-5, Dutch man. Apart from the name, he's not a bad fighter, to be fair. He's coming off a win by KO in his last fight, but he went to decision before that, lost it. He's won a few, lost to a few good opponents as well. He's been finished a couple of times by submission. So I do think that Ibragimov is going to win this one. He's quite good at finishing people, so I reckon he's going to get the finish, and I reckon he gets the submission. And now we move to the cards where Khamzat Abaev versus Shakina Nosso Pedro. Now, another undefeated Belgian man in Khamzat Abaev. He's got Boars as his nickname. Pretty sure that was the same as what Khamzat Chimaev has. No idea, but he shares the same first name, Khamzat, which is pretty cool. 5-0, undefeated man, 28 years of age. Also, all finishes, so basically talking about the same guy as last time. But this guy's coming on 4 fights in a row. He's got 2 fights in a row. He's got round 1 finishes. Then he's got 4 fights in a row. He's got round 1 KOs, and then he got a submission in his first fight. He looks pretty dangerous. I mean, he looks a very dangerous man. He'll definitely get a finish here. Shakina Nosso Pedro, on the other hand, is 9-4. Is alright, but he's coming off a win by submission in his last fight. Lost a split decision in PFL last time he was here. He's not too bad. I mean, he's got a few good wins on his record. Lost a couple of times as well to some decent opponents. Like he's lost to some undefeated people before. So I reckon Abaev is going to get this job done. I mean, there's too much to say. I can't see him losing here. I mean, he looks too good. 5 finishes, 5 wins. He could come to a stop here, but I see Khamzat getting the win here, and I reckon he gets the KO. And now we move the card to Adam Meskini versus Tiziano Ferranti. Now, we have Meskini, the Frenchman, 9-3 in total, 28 years of age. He's only lost by decision, never been finished in his career so far. Has won a split decision in his last fight on the PFL MENA, and also lost to Islam Raider on the PFL MENA as well. I'm pretty sure I would have gave my predictions for them because I remember doing some of them back last year. So he not the worst fighter in the world. Lost in Cage Warriors as well to a decent opponent, to be fair. And he has some decent wins on his record. Quite a few wins by finish, but he's gone to quite a few decisions. His opponent, Ferranti, on the other hand, the Italian man, is 10-1. Very impressive record, to be fair. Only 25 years of age. Currently on a 4-fight winning streak at the moment. 3 of them wins coming by finish. 2 wins by submission, 1 win by head kick, which is kind of impressive. Also a split decision in there as well. His only loss coming to a John Fusenik. It is not a bad loss, to be fair. He is a UFC level opponent, even though he hasn't done that well in UFC. But it's still not a bad loss to have on your record. So I do think that Ferranti looks a dangerous man. Lots of wins by KO. And I do think he's going to get the job done here. I mean, Meskini is a good fighter as well. I feel like he has fought some good opponents. But I'm going to back Ferranti to get the job done. And I reckon he gets the decision. And now we move the card to where Fadi Khaled versus Levi Batchelor. Now, Fadi Khaled is, what is that flag? Tunisian man. Don't see many fighters from there, I don't think. 2-0 professionally in MMA. But he has a few kickboxing matches, to be fair. He's on Tapology, doesn't show them all, but he's fought Rodtang and Super Leg and stuff. So he's fought pretty high level kickboxing, but since he's come into MMA, he's got 1 win by submission, 1 win by KO. So he's doing all right so far in MMA. His opponent, Levi Batchelor, is a Welshman, 1-0 currently. So both these guys, not much MMA experience, to be fair. Batchelor did win his first round by round 1 KO. So both these guys do have decent prospects, to be fair, but I'm going to back the man with the more kickboxing experience to get this job done. I reckon Khaled is going to come in here, and I reckon he wins by decision. And now, moving the card to a battle between 2 Belgians, Gaetano Pirrello versus Salvatore Liga. Now, Pirrello is a 16-7-1 record, 33 years of age. Fought some pretty decent opponents. Obviously, was in the UFC for 2 fights. He's got some decent wins before he came to the UFC, and then got 2 hard opponents, to be fair. Lost to Ricky Simone by submission, then got KO'd by Silva de Andrade. But he's not the worst fighter. Came back with a win in 2023 outside the UFC, got a decision win against a decent opponent, to be fair. So I don't think he's finished just yet. I mean, obviously didn't have a good time in the UFC, but he's still a good fighter. On the other hand, we have Salvatore Liga, a 5-0 Belgian man, 31 years old. Pretty decent record, obviously, undefeated. All the wins come in by finish as well. I mean, he's got quite a few wins by submission, and then 1 or 2 wins by KO as well. So, looks a dangerous guy, but He's not really fought any high-level opponents. I mean, he hasn't fought someone. He's fought one person with a winning record, and that guy was 1-0. So not fought really high-level opponents yet, whereas Pirrello has. So I'm going to back the experience here, and I'm going to go with Pirrello to get this job done by decision. And now we move the card again to Nicolas Di Franco versus Catalin Safta. Now, Di Franco is a Belgian man, 10-4-1 record, 31 years of age. Lost his last fight by KO back in last year, December. But before that, he had a decent run, to be fair, 3 wins in a row. Got to win by KO in round 1, then a win by submission as well in some different promotions, won the belts and that in them. But he's not a bad fighter, to be fair. Lost a couple times by finishing stuff, but he's finished quite a few opponents himself. His opponent on the advance, Safta, 6-3, Swiss man. Looks pretty decent, to be fair. Has lost to Habirora. God knows, I'm butchering names, man. I knew I was going to do it. But the guy who's main eventing this card, the Belgian man, he lost by KO last time he was in PFL to him, but came back, bounced back this year with a win by KO in round number 2. So he's decent, got a lot of finishes in his record, 4 wins by KO, and also lost to a guy called Di Franco before. I don't know if any relation to this one, but I've no idea. But I think this could go either way. This one's very split. Di Franco could win this one, obviously, but obviously Safta could as well. So I'm going to back Safta to get this job done. It's very close, but I'm going to back Safta to get the KO. And now we move the card to 2 undefeated guys here. Ibragimov versus Mafis Duragrin. Now, Ibragimov, 9-0 Englishman. Looks very good. Dagestan native, it says on here, born in Dagestan. So, he's a good fighter, undefeated guy. Just look at his record. I mean, his first 6 fights, all wins by finish. Lots of them coming by submission, few by KO as well in there. Lots of them in round 1. He's won his last 2 fights by decision in PFL over some decent opponents. One guy was undefeated, another guy with a pretty good record. His opponent, Duragrin, is undefeated. He's Frenchman, 4-0 in total. 2 of his wins coming by decision, and then 2 wins coming by KO. So he also looks like a good fighter. Fought some decent opponents as well, to be fair, not the best, but I've got to back the Englishman, Ibragimov, to get this job done. I mean, he's good, I've seen him before, 9-0, you can't really doubt him. I reckon Ibragimov gets the decision. And now we move the card to Boris Mbaga Atangana versus Bruno Santos. Now, Atangana is a 5-0 Belgian man. Looks pretty good, obviously. All wins coming by finish. I mean, it seems a theme with these undefeated Belgian guys in this card. He's looks pretty good. I mean, 4 of his wins coming by KO, 1 win going by submission. Looks pretty good. Fought some pretty decent opponents in there as well, especially in his last 3 fights. His opponent on the other, Bruno Santos, not as great record. It's currently 3-3 in total. He's 33 as well, so it's all matching up here. All of his records gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So technically going by that, he should be on for a win here, but I don't see that happening. That's definitely not happening here. In all of his losses, he has been finished, and then in all of his wins, he has finished as well. So I can see it's going to be a finish here. Literally, both these fighters have never seen a decision, I don't think. So Santos, you're getting finished, mate. I see Atangana getting a KO. And now we move the card to Julian Pierre Lopez versus Jan Ciplowski. Now, Lopez is a Frenchman, 7-4-1 in total, 35 years old, so he's getting on a bit, to be fair, but not the worst fighter in the world. Did lose his last fight to a round 1 submission to Alexander Luster, who's obviously meant to be in this card but isn't anymore. But before that, won 2 fights in a row by finish, 1 in Cage Warriors, 1 in PFL. His PFL win coming by round 1 submission in PFL Europe, so the same thing as this. So he's obviously not the worst. Got KO'd in the first round by Bernardo Sapage, who's in the UFC. That was in 20 seconds, so it didn't last long there. He has been finished quite a few times, to be fair, but he's got some good wins, to be fair. Got quite a lot of finishes on his record, so he is a dangerous guy. On the other hand, we have Jan Ciplowski, 8-0 Polish man, undefeated. He looks pretty good. Currently on an 8-8 win streak, obviously. He hasn't lost yet. Fought some decent opponents, just got a split decision win over a 9-1 opponent in his last fight. Got a rear naked choke before that. I mean, he's pretty decent. I mean, he's got a few finishes in there, got a few wins by decision. He can do it all, really. And I think this could be a close fight, but I'm going to back the Polish man in Czeplowski to get this job done, and I reckon he gets the decision. And now, moving up the card again to Anas Azizun versus Gustavo Oliveira. Now, Azizun is another Frenchman, 5-1 record. Pretty decent, to be fair. His only loss coming in his last fight, which was a body shot KO in round number 1. But before that, he looks pretty decent. A few wins by KO, few wins by decision in there as well. Fought some alright opposition, and then lost to some 6-1 guy in his last fight last year. But he's coming back against Gustavo Oliveira, who's a Portuguese man, 10-2 record, 28 years old. He's been fighting a bit of Muay Thai at the minute and like karate, but he's back to MMA in this fight, and he's only lost once in his last 5 fights in MMA. He lost a decision, but all around that, he's got all finishes. He looks pretty decent in KSW. Just got a win by KO in round number 3, a doctor stoppage. And I do think he's a good fighter. He lost one of his own losses coming by Felipe Lima, who's in the UFC. So not a bad loss to have. Went the decision with him. And he's got a lot of finishes on his record. So I reckon I can see Oliveira getting the win here, and I reckon he gets the KO. And now we move the card to Mahio Campanella versus Matis Zaharov. Now, Campanella, it's a Frenchman, 7-1 record. Looks pretty good. Only one loss coming by submission back in 2023, but since then he's won 4 fights in a row. All wins coming by finish. A couple wins by submission in his last 2 fights, both coming by round 1 submissions. So he's pretty good. I mean, there's 3 wins in a row coming by round 1 submissions. So he likes to finish things in the first rounds. This man, Zaharov's on the other hand, he's a 7-3 Irish man. I think that's a Latvian name though, to be fair. That's Zaharov's. He's probably got Latvian descent or something, but he's a decent fighter, to be fair. Won his last fight in the PFL by rear naked choke. Lost a decision to McGrill Evans before that, but he has some good wins. A round 1 finish before that, another round 1 finish before that. So he does like a round 1 finish as well. So both these guys do like a finish. I could probably see this maybe getting a finish here. Either one of them, I'm not too sure. But I feel like they're both pretty decent fighters. Both with quite decent records. Both got 7 wins in total. So I'm not sure which way this could go. I could see probably one of them getting a finish. But I'm going to back Campanella to get this job done. I reckon he just gets the decision. And now we move up to the co-main event. Taylor Lapilus versus Ali Taleb. Now, it should be a good fight, to be fair. Lapilus, obviously the Frenchman, 21-4 record, 33 years old. This is his first fight outside of the UFC, which is a weird cut, because obviously they didn't cut him because he was a bad fighter. They cut him because he was a boring fighter, because like obviously he's only lost twice in the UFC in total, but obviously like once in his recent stint in there, because he had 4 fights, lost to Farid Basharat, who is the better of the Basharat brothers, to be fair, and then had some decent wins around that. But to be fair, all of his fights went to decision, so not exactly the most exciting fighter in the world, but obviously he's still a good fighter. He's lots of his wins obviously come by decision. He's obviously got 21 wins. He's got a very impressive record, to be fair, only 4 losses. On the other hand, we have Ali Taleb. Taleb, not really sure how you say it, but he's 12-1, Swedish man, 27 years old. I think he's very good. I mean, he's only lost once, and he lost to Kakarov by decision back in 2023. But around that, he's got some good wins. Obviously, he has a win over Vinicius Oliveira, who's in the UFC and looks a very good prospect at the minute. KO'd him back in the day. He's got he's a very good fighter. Obviously got a win in the PFL Championships by KO in 2024. I just think he's a very good fighter. Lots of wins by finishes, but do I think he can finish Taylor Lapilus? Probably not. So I feel like it's a very good matchup. Honestly, it could go either way. Taylor could cause an upset here. I don't know what the odds are, to be honest, but I reckon Lapilus, he's UFC level, he's proved it, he just is a bit boring, so I reckon he's going to come in here and get the decision. And now to the main event, finally. Man, this has been a long video. It's God knows how long this video is going to be when I edit it, but we're finally at the main event. Patrick Habirora versus Danny Roberts. Now, Danny Roberts, obviously, is this his first fight since leaving the UFC? Yes, it is. He was meant to fight in the GFL, but then that collapsed. I've not heard of that for a while. I'm guessing they've just completely shut down that now. But didn't go on a great run at the end of his UFC career. lost 3 fights in a row and got KO'd twice in his last 2 fights. I mean, you can say, like, he got KO'd by Jack Della Maddalena. Not a bad loss. Now he's the champ, but then he got KO'd by Johnny Parsons after that. So he was kind of a bit washed there at the end. He is now 37 years old as well, so PFL is probably the best place for him. Patrick Habirora. I've had so much struggle trying to say his name. Habirora. I think I probably pronounced it wrong anyways. The Belgian man, 6-0. He looks pretty decent. I mean, all of his last 4 wins have come by KO, and a lot of them coming in round number 1 as well. I mean, he looks decent. I don't think he's like UFC levels, but I'm just gonna have to go recency bias and say that, like, Danny Roberts could get this win because he's had so much high level experience in the UFC and stuff like that, and he's 37 now, so he's getting on. But I'm gonna back Habirora, the undefeated man. It means 6-0, a lot of wins by finish. I reckon he's gonna come in here and he's gonna come with the motivation and stuff. Danny Roberts has lost his last 2 wins by KO. Habirora's won his last 4 by KO. So it's all adding up for Habirora to get the KO. So there we have it. There are my predictions for PFL Europe this weekend. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.